Hey there everyone, it's Ryan with Frontline Animal Removal, and I want to talk about ridge venting. I just made a little video a few minutes ago about how squirrels got in, and one of the reasons why they get into ridge venting is it flexes and it moves and it pulls away from the roof a little bit, and it creates a gap. And that gap allows or gives the critters an idea where to get in. So here is a brand new piece of the ridge venting. And see this edge along here, this edge, when it's on the roof, it's supposed to fit tight to the roof. But oftentimes, it starts to pull away from the roof. Creates a little gap. But when it's installed correctly, if it's tight like this, but when it pulls away, it creates a gap. That gap's a problem. When you look at the top of the ridge vent, it's just plastic. The bottom's just plastic. And of course, when it's installed, shingles get layered right over top of it to cover it up and kind of make it invisible. Now I mentioned it pulls away from the roof. You might be wondering why it pulls away. Well, typically your roofer is going to install it with a nail like this. Now if we look at this nail really close, it's just an ordinary roofing nail. Smooth, it's got a large head on it. This one's got a little bit of crud on the top because it's a used one that I pulled out of ridge venting. This is the correct nail to use for ridge venting. Now it's longer, but that's not as important as the shaft. I don't know if the camera's focusing correctly, but this is actually a ringed shanked nail. And what that means, it's got little ridges all around the nail. You might be able to see them, you might not. This one's smooth. Well, this is perfectly fine for shingles, because when you nail shingles down using these smooth nails, they'll bite into the wood, and the shingles really don't pull too hard on them, and they're not going to let go. Plastic expands and contracts a huge amount in the heat and the cold. So when it gets cold out, it's going to shrink, and when it gets hot out, it expands like crazy. That constant expansion and contraction is going to pull on the nail. And because this folds over the ridge of the house, over the peak, it tends to want to straighten out in the heat. So this end wants to lift up, and this end wants to pull up. These nails get installed along here. So they get installed along here. These ring shank nails, these little rings act like barbs. So when you nail this into the roof, it holds into the wood. It doesn't let go. Whereas these smooth nails always let go. The majority of the problems associated with roof venting is because of improper installation. These nails actually come with the ridge venting. But see, the guys that put roofs on, they don't use these because these don't fit into their nailing guns. They want to use their pneumatic nailers and install the ridge venting. Now there's nothing really wrong with using a pneumatic nailer, but it doesn't have these ringed, shanked roofing nails which bite and hold the ridge venting to the roof. So I go up on houses all the time. I always check the ridge vent. Sometimes you can just grab the ridge vent and lift, and it pulls right off. It peels off so easily, it's almost as if it's not even nailed down. Sometimes the roofers use too short of a nail, but they're always using the smooth shanked nail, which always lets go. If they had installed it with these ring shanked nails, the stuff would not pull off and it would not be a problem. So this is my top tip. If you're a roofer, use these ring shank nails on the ridge venting, otherwise it could pull away. Sometimes the wind pulls it off. If you're a do-it-yourselfer and is going to do your own roof, use the correct nail. It makes a big difference. I get work out of houses because a contractor did not use the correct nail in the ridge vent. Thank you.